my friends, today I'm going to be sharing with you all how I make this super easy and delicious Puerto Rican classic. This is a Puerto Rican rice majarete, so make sure to stick around and watch. So what exactly is majarete? Majarete is a traditional Puerto Rican dessert. It actually is a coconut flavored rice pudding. It has a really nice silky consistency, and oftentimes it is found in family get-togethers or parties or potlucks or holiday dinners. One of the things I love about majarete is that it is very easy to make. It doesn't take that much time at all and is naturally gluten-free. So if you ask me, any dessert out there that is gluten-free, I'm going to love, especially if it's easy to make. So if you've never had majarete before, I highly encourage you to give this dessert a try. I promise you, you will enjoy it. Now let's go see what it all takes to get this started. Alrighty, my friends, these are the ingredients that we are going to be using to make our yummy Puerto Rican rice majarete. We are going to be needing about 2 cinnamon sticks, 5 to 7 cloves, some ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a can of cream of coconut, a can of coconut milk, a can of evaporated milk, about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and half a cup of white rice flour. I'll be using the Bob's Red Mill. There is the Goya one as well, but this is the one that I have access to, so it's the one I'm going to be using. I also have 1 cup of water in a smaller pot because I'll be making a tea on here. And a little bit of a bigger pot and a whisk, because this is where I'm going to be whisking everything at. The whisk is very important because you're going to see that we are constantly mixing this mix. And finally, something to put it in. It could be cups. I like these little bread loaves that I've had for years now. I like to make my tembleque in it, but you can make it in individual little serving cups as well. Alrighty, so first we're going to be making our tea. I'm gonna put my water at about a medium. And in that water, I'm going to add my 2 sticks of cinnamon, as well as my 5 to 7 cloves. Here we go. You can add more if you want to. Really, it's to your liking. Some people like to add ginger. You can add ginger too. I don't have ginger right now, but it's very similar to the same tea that we make for arroz con dulce. So we're gonna let that cook in there for about 5 minutes. All right, my friends, and now that's been about 5 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the tea off. You're gonna see that it has like this caramel kind of color on there, and that's just the taste that it has extracted from the cinnamon and the cloves. I'm gonna let that sit here on the stove and cool off while I work on my mix on the counter. Alrighty, here on the counter, we are going to go ahead and mix the rest of our ingredients while it's cold. So I already used the cinnamon sticks and the cloves, so I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna start with my 1 can of evaporated milk. I'm gonna add it in there. 1 can of coconut milk. This is always good to mix up because especially now that it's cold, sometimes the fat gets stuck on the top. So I like to mix it up and add it to the mix right there. Okay. Then we're gonna take our coconut cream. Now here's the thing. Some people like to use coconut cream. Sometimes people only use a little bit and then they mix the rest with the sugar. This is up to you, okay? I like to go by taste. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. And you really can mix the whole thing if you want to, or you can mix a little bit at a time and then go by your taste. It's really up to you. So depending on you, you can just add the whole can like I am, and I don't use the sugar, the white sugar on it. It's up to you really, and how sweet do you really want it. Okay, so I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna mix all this together. Incorporate everything very, very well. And if at this point you've mixed it all together and you want to give it a taste and you want it sweeter than what it already is, go ahead and add sugar. It's up to you. I'm on the lightest sugar of things. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and our 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we're gonna go ahead and give everything another mix. Now comes the rice. Now here's the thing about rice. You don't want your majarete to be lumpy. You don't want that. That's not good. You want it to be nice and smooth. So if you don't have a strainer, that's fine. You can go in a little bit at a time and just make sure that there is no bumps to it. But I like to use a strainer just to sift through the rice in case there's any lumps. So here's my 1/2 cup of rice flour. I'm gonna simply put it in here. Then I'm just gonna sift it through. There we go, simple as that. Just make sure that there's no lumps, right? Now I'm gonna mix this all together. Notice that I'm gonna be doing this while everything is still cold. Because if you do it when it's hot, you can do it when it's hot, but sometimes it might get a little lumpy and you don't want lumps in your mix. You just don't. And you can do it, just do it little by little and keep mixing profusely. All right, so I got that part all mixed in there. Now I'm gonna go get my tea. Now I'm gonna use the same strainer, just like this. Make sure that the little pieces don't go through. And just give it a nice mixing so it incorporates everything. All right, now that we're done mixing this, we're gonna go ahead and take it over to the stove. All right, my friends, this part here is really important. You're gonna go ahead and turn your fire to a low. You don't want it to be high because then the bottom can burn. And you are simply going to mix and mix and mix until the consistency gets nice and thick. The thing about majarete is that patience is key. It needs to cook nice, slow, and in low heat, so it comes out nice and silky. At the beginning, there's not much mixing that you have to do because it's not quite hot yet, so you just sit here and just scrape the bottom little by little. As time goes on and it gets thicker, you're gonna have to start moving quicker. All right, friends, it's been about 15 minutes and it's finally thickening up a little bit. It's not super thick, but it's picking up. You're gonna feel like there's a little bit of resistance. And then you're gonna see how much thicker it's getting. At this point, we have to pay close attention because we're gonna start mixing a little bit quicker. All right, I'm seeing steam come from the top. That's a good sign. And it's getting nice and thick. All right, friends, I think mine is done. I've been mixing after the bubbling for about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off, turn it off, and you're gonna see this? Nice and thick. I like that. You're gonna see that it leaves like marks behind as you mix it. That means it's ready. So I wanna show you guys the consistency here, you see? Has that nice silky consistency. Now it's time for us to go ahead and put it in the molds that we are going to let it set. Alrighty, so I'm gonna use a little ladle to kind of pour it in. It's very similar to the way I make the tembleque. The only difference is that the texture is going to be different, and tembleque is made with cornstarch. So this, you don't cut through it, you actually eat it with a spoon. It's gonna have a silky consistency, very, very pudding-like. See how nothing got burned in the bottom and it's nice and silky? This is gonna be a good majarete. Now comes the ground cinnamon. Now we are simply going to go ahead and place these in the fridge and let them set for about 3 hours. This is one of those desserts that, you know how kids usually wait for mom to be done with the cookie batter to eat whatever is left over in the mixing bowl. Well, this is one of those desserts in my family that as soon as I'm done pouring it in the containers, my son is ready to go in and start picking out whatever is left in the pot. It is that yummy. Now, once the majarete has set, you can go ahead and serve it into a separate little dish. Or if you made this just for yourself, you can just with a spoon enjoy it right out of the container that you made it in. Now, my friends, it's your turn to give this delicious Puerto Rican classic a try, and make sure to let me know in the comments below how did yours turn out and how did you like it. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.